welcome back to R Square's One and One Man. My name is R Square, and today we are doing the final week of the NFL season, Week 18, live from sunny Orlando, Florida. That's right. So we're starting with the Saturday games. Everything comes down to the wire. We got the #1 seed in the AFC, a team coming off of, quite frankly, annihilating the Miami Dolphins. It's the Baltimore Ravens taking on the one and only fighting for their playoff berth. Don't actually know what they have a quarterback or not. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on this one. Baltimore started Tyler Huntley, so I'm definitely going with the Steelers over the Ravens in this one. Mason Rudolph's had a really nice start to the season. His season. Say he started 2 weeks ago. He's 2-0 so far, so I think he'll have a good game against Baltimore. I think Pittsburgh might just find themselves sitting in the 7th seed in the AFC. Next up, we have the nightcap. Loser goes home matchup. Winner is most certainly in. It's the Houston Texans taking on the Indianapolis Colts. It's the battle of AFC South rivals. Gardner Minshew against C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had a pretty disappointing game last week, but Houston still did pull that one off. And without Tank Dell, I'm not sure that C.J. Stroud's going to be the same. However, Indianapolis has showed that they're not the team to beat in the AFC South. I'm going with Houston on this one. I think it's going to be a tight game, great game for that matter. I'm taking Houston over Indianapolis on Saturday Night Football. Now opening the Sunday Night Football window, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. It's not Joe Flacco starting the quarterback. He's done such a good job. He's gotten them to a secure playoff spot. There is no danger of them being moved. Flacco is out for this one, which means we'll likely get to see Mr. Dorian Thompson-Robinson himself, the rookie out of UCLA. I like watching him play. I like watching him play in the preseason. I like watching him play at UCLA. We'll see how good he does in his second official start against Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. I am taking the Bengals in this one. Jamar Chase is probably going to get his rhythm going a little bit. Jake Browning's going to start getting a little bit hot going into the postseason. So I'm taking the Bengals over the Browns to improve the Bengals' record to 9-8 and their playoff chances. Next up, we have the NFC North. This time, it's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff trying to fight for that 2 seed. Right now, the 1 seed's already locked up by San Francisco, so he's gonna play. Cool. There's a lot of crows. So it is the Detroit Lions against the Minnesota Vikings. I'm taking Detroit. They're fighting for their seeding, and Minnesota's fighting for their playoff berth. And I just think that Detroit is the better team in this one. Next up, we have the AFC South battle taking between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis, hopefully at quarterback for Tennessee, as they try to play the upset role against, hopefully at quarterback, Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. This one's going to be close. I think that Tennessee definitely has a good chance of upsetting them on this one, but I'm still taking Jacksonville. Remember, this is only if Trevor Lawrence does play. If it's C.J. Beathard at quarterback, I might lean a little more towards taking Tennessee and Levis or Tannehill in that one. So I'm going to take the Jaguars for now. Next up, we have the AFC East doesn't really matter game between the New York Football Jets's and the New England Patriots. Do I really have to pick this game? Come on. Trevor Siemian with the Jets taking on Bailey Zappi with the Patriots. I'm taking the Jets. Get 7-10. Make all the Jets fans happy. That's all they've wanted. Mostly because they weren't happy and they had the exact same record last year. If they finish 7-10, I'll be having a field day with them. Next up, we have the NFC South matchup. It's a big one to determine who takes the NFC South. It's the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off of a big win last week, and the Falcons kind of disappointed last week. I gotta stay hopeful for the Falcons that they can make the playoffs. But right now, I'm not thinking about that. I'm taking the New Orleans Saints over the Atlanta Falcons in that one. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers try to upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' chances of winning the NFC South. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm taking the Bucs. My only concern about picking the Bucs in this one is that Baker Mayfield might not play in this one. He's got a rib injury, so be sure to watch out for that in your injury report, but I am still taking the Bucs over the Panthers. Next up, we have the 7-9 Chicago Bears trying to play the upset role against the 8-8 Green Bay Packers. I'm taking Jordan Love in this one. I think the Packers stand a good chance of winning this one, try to secure up that wild card 7 seed, which pretty much the only other team competing for that 7 seed is the Seattle Seahawks. So, yeah, I'm taking Green Bay over Chicago. I'd love to see the Packers in the playoffs. It would prove me right for my bold prediction at the beginning of the season when I said that Jordan Love was going to lead the Packers to the playoffs. That was in week 1. Make sure to check out that video. I said it. I've been a Jordan Love fan since the minute he was drafted. So I am taking the Packers over the Bears to secure up that playoff berth and take them against the 2 seed in the NFC. Next up, we have the AFC West. That Bears-Packers game was the opening of the 4 o'clock window, 4:25 p.m. So let's go ahead and get started with the next 4:25 game. It's the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. It's Jarrett Stidham at quarterback for the Broncos due to a little bit of a contract debacle with Russell Wilson. So it's Jarrett Stidham facing his old team and the Las Vegas Raiders. And Aiden O'Connell, I'm taking the Raiders in this one. Sorry, Denver Nation, but Jarrett Stidham, really. I'm taking the Raiders over the Broncos. Aiden O'Connell. Antonio Pierce might just secure that job. That's an 8-9 season. He brought them back from way down low. I think Antonio Pierce gets to keep the job in Las Vegas. Hopefully Las Vegas doesn't have a great track record with keeping coaches, but I am taking the Raiders over the Broncos. Next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. This should be, without a doubt, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts gets his rhythm going a little bit. I'm not expecting a huge win for Philly, but I do expect them to win and hopefully try. I really want to see Philly do a good job this year, but they got to find their identity, and I think this is the game to do it against a kind of a weaker team on the decks. It is windy. So I am, in fact, taking the Philadelphia Eagles over the New York Giants. Next up, we have the Seattle Nature. This is why I do this indoors. It's the Seattle Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals up next. Geno Smith fighting for that 7th seed, as I said, against the Green Bay Packers. Right now they're playing the Arizona Cardinals, however. I'm taking Seattle. I think it's going to be a tight race between Seattle and Green Bay, and I'm going to make it even tighter by saying Seattle gets the win against Arizona. Next up, we have the Chiefs and the Chargers. Kansas City taking on Easton Stick. It's Blaine Gabbert at quarterback for Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is out of this game for resting up for the playoffs. So I like Blaine Gabbert. I'm taking the Chiefs. It's just a gut feeling. I'm taking Kansas City to improve to 11-6. It's not really going to matter ultimately because they're stuck at the 3 seed no matter what. But I am taking Kansas City over the Los Angeles Chargers in that one. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Rams, who've secured up the playoff berth, against the San Francisco 49ers, who secured up the number 1 seed. This is going to be a tight game. We have no definitive news whether Brock Purdy's actually going to play in this one right now, but no matter what, I'm taking the Los Angeles Rams to have a good game. I'm taking the Rams to beat the 49ers. Niners have already secured a 1 seed. Rams still got a little more to play for. Give me the Rams over the Niners. Next up, we have the final game of our 4 o'clock window and the second to last game of our show. It is the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Commanders in a battle of the NFC East. I'm taking Dallas in this one. I'm not saying I think Dallas is going to, I have no idea what Dallas is. I don't believe Dallas will make it to the Super Bowl. That's just my opinion. Dallas has kind of had a history of, choking in the playoffs, which I believe we'll see again, but I think they do come up with a win against Washington. Next up, we have what I very well consider to be America's Game of the Week. It's on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to be there, live from Miami Gardens, Florida. The Miami Dolphins host the Buffalo Bills in the game that determines the AFC East. So here's the deal. As much as I want to pick the Dolphins on this one, as the Dolphins fan, I would love to pick Miami. However, we may be entering the most important game of the year with the most injured team in the NFL. Buffalo is a perfectly healthy team on a hot streak. We are the most, put us entire team into a hospital because they're all gone. Tua's injured, Tyreek's dealing with an ankle injury. Jalen Waddle is in jeopardy of missing it. Xavier Howard's in jeopardy of missing it. Bradley Chubb towards ACL. Jalen Phillips towards ACL. Raheem Mostert's in jeopardy of missing it. I mean, like, we have issues. The Dolphins are having problems with injuries. If they can just get healthy just at the right time for Buffalo, like, say every single one of those guys that I listed that didn't tear their ACL plays in this one, I think Miami's got a real fighting chance. So as much as I would love to be wrong about this pick, I gotta go with the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East over the Miami Dolphins. The Bills take the 2 seed, the Dolphins take the 6. And I'm hoping they get a little bit of a rematch in the divisional round of the postseason. That'll do it for me here today. I think I'm getting a little bit sunburned standing here in the sun, so I should go ahead and hop back on inside. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, hit that notification bell, comment down below, subscribe if you like this content. And I will see you in Miami Gardens, Florida this Sunday, where I will do a little bit of a video, probably with some pictures of the stadium and my personal review of how the stadium went. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.